Hello everyone, VJ 32 back again. Some more Kickstarter updates or what's on Kickstarter. Looking at what is new in the world of playing cards on Kickstarter. So let's get right on with it. First of all, there is a new project. They relaunched some elephant playing cards in their own elephant playing card decks. The self-branded decks. It is funded, 18 days to go. It's good to see. Last time they struggled a bit. And there's 3 potential decks in this one. One of them is still locked until they hit $15,000, which at this rate, they may very well do so. A little bit surprised to see this one fund so quickly, especially considering last time they didn't do so well. But I'm happy for it. The one deck that is available right now, or one of the two, is the Desert Edition that you see on the left here, the brownish color. Of course, there's an elephant on the back design. This is the Elephant Playing Cards namesake decks, if you will. They're kind of standard decks, and it was designed by Anomaly World Studios, who have done a few other decks in the past on Kickstarter, a couple at least. And it's a nice back design, very nice looking. Elephant and all. The Tundra Edition, which is this one, which also makes sense for elephants. It's inspired by the Asian elephants. And this one is still locked until they hit $15,000, so let's get it there. Let's get it unlocked. And there is one more, the Night Edition, you can see right here, which is kind of a black and gold colored one, almost orangey, which has gold foil. Inspired by the Arabian elephant, I suppose. And obviously it's more limited edition. And this one's printed by WJ Playing Card Company. Wang whatever. They're another printing company from China. That makes me question the quality just a little bit, because I've had some decks from them before from Robert Tomlinson's projects, and they left a little bit to be desired. In fact, all these decks are being printed by WJ, which is a little bit concerning. And actually makes me, actually turns me off a little bit of this project, unfortunately, because I don't know how the quality is going to be. Based on the last couple of decks I got from WJ Printing, it does not really excite me all that much, unfortunately. But we'll see, I guess. We shall see. And why did I click on that twice? Next, there's the Wild Vibe Jungle Geometric Animal playing cards from Zing Playing Cards. Mentioned that last week. 20% funded, 16 days to go. Struggling. Probably won't make it. Then there's the Bicycle Marble Rider backs from Max Playing Cards and Collectible Playing Cards. 45% funded, 21 days to go. Also struggling. For one, I'm not sure why they have a goal that is 5 times as much as what they usually have on a project, or 4 or 5 times as much as what they usually have on a project. But if they don't get funded, it may not even happen because of USPC's policies on rider back customizations and not being allowed to do it anymore. Again. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it funds, but it is a pretty big goal for some reason. I don't know why. Next, we got the Bicycle 4 Seasons Summer Edition from Collectible Playing Cards. Of course, it is funded, 7 days to go. Bicycle TCC Rainbow Playing Cards from TCC Playing Cards, which I believe I mentioned last week. 87% funded, 20 days to go. I like it. Although, oddly enough, the colors you see on the tug case are not what is actually on the back design, which would have been interesting as well, but it's a pretty cool deck. Each card has a different color on the back and the face, basically. Well, the face and the back is the same, but each card is a different color, a rainbow of colors. I like it. I like decks like that. Basically, it's a marked deck. If you are able to differentiate between the different shades of blues and reds and stuff like that. Next, also, we have the Art of Cardistry Playing Cards by Bokobo. It is funded, well funded, 4 days to go. That's the purple edition or red edition, whatever it is. It's alright, it's a nice deck. Avalon playing cards from Natalia Silva, 72% funded, 6 days to go. Hopefully it makes it there. It's a beautiful deck, beautiful artwork. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't done so already. And if you want to check out any of these projects, all you have to do is go to Kickstarter and search playing cards, and you should be able to find them, no problem. Or search by the creator's name, or the name of the deck. Toby Town Chess Playing Cards by KC Toby is funded, 70 hours to go. It's alright for what it is. It doesn't tickle my funny bones particularly, but it's not bad. Sub Rosa Playing Cards, 52% funded, 18 days to go. This is by Chords Sexy, I believe it is. I think that's how you pronounce it. May or may not make it at this rate. It's got a nice, kind of a pretty back design, floral. Not much else to it if I recall correctly. Leon Playing Cards by Chris Mayhew is 55% funded, 9 days to go. I'm just not sure it's going to happen. It's just a overly simple back design with really simple aces and jokers and standard faces. Really doesn't appeal to me all that much. I'll stick with the original Dr. Leon Playing Cards. Thank you very much. And then there is the Lords and Gods of Egypt by the SVI group. It is funded, 17 days to go. Can't recall if I sold you this one or not. I don't think that I did. 3 tuck cases. One is the Gods of Egypt. 3 decks, I should say. One is the Gods of Egypt, one is the Lords of Egypt, and the other is the Lords and Gods of Egypt. Very well funded, apparently. Gold foiling and embossing on the tuck cases with a matte tuck case. Everything 100% custom. Metallic inks on the faces and backs of the cards. With 55 cards in the deck. 2 jokers and some additional card. There's also a nice coin you can get. And we'll look at some of the faces here. Actually, I might have shown you these already. I apologize if I did. Kind of gold and black, red with gold and white, and then a blue with silver and white. Interesting color schemes. Nice back designs. Very Egyptian looking. A very nice, artwork on the faces. I'm not sure the background detail is really necessary. It's not necessary at all. They could have just gone with the border detail and the artwork that they have. The background really just was not necessary. The kind of hieroglyphics. But it's fine. Of course, I do have other Egyptian themed decks already, so I don't know about this one. It's an interesting additional card, which some kind of an ad card for Joker, more or less, because it's got stars on it. Different style pips for this one, which is pretty cool. And this one as well is different. They're all kind of similar but different, unique, pretty cool. Of course, as always, I will question the quality because I've not experienced the quality of this company, printed by their own company, SVI Group. Again, is it going to be, on par with the other big companies? Probably not. It'd probably be more on par with Noir Arts or maybe MPC. So that kind of turns me off just a little bit. But the artwork is nicely done. I don't know what to think about that one. It's fine. It's an interesting deck. Then there is, of course, the Sumi playing cards from Card Experiment. Well funded. 3 days to go. They have unlocked the Bicycle branded deck. The other 2 decks are printed by Expert Playing Cards, which I have to question. I don't know. I can understand since they're an Asia, they want to go with an Asian printer. But, why do we need to do the Expert Playing Card printed and then do a specifically Bicycle branded deck printed by the USPC? It just adds a lot of unnecessary headaches and delays for both the creator and the backers, because now you're dealing with 2 production companies, 2 different timelines, and 1 shipping date, basically, that you have promised your backers. which is, I don't know, it's an unnecessary headache that I don't know why creators undertake. Keep it simple. Do one company. Moving on. Hopefully. Come on. There we go. Oops. Speaking of Egyptian playing cards, like one deck isn't enough. Come on, let's go back. There we go. We also have the Ancient Egypt art playing cards by Timothy Kramer. It is 46% funded, 29 days to go. Kind of interesting that there's actually not one but two decks with an Egyptian theme on Kickstarter right now. And this one again, it's a different back design. Very Egyptian, obviously, looking. 3 different color schemes apparently. Black, silver, and a gold type color. Almost, I would say. About halfway there. The $10,000 goal. There is the black deck, Aces of Egypt. The color deck, sand color deck, I should say, God Ra. And the white deck, Bastet, is what they are. And this creator previously did the Heroes of the Nations playing cards, which I actually never got. I decided not to back them. And I never got them, and I probably won't back this one either. It's a little bit of a busy bat design, and it's the same thing basically, just different colors on the backs and probably the faces as well. Which is why I kind of would prefer the other one from SVI, because each deck is actually a bit different. It's not just a different color scheme. Like this one, as you can see, that is exactly what it is. And in this case, it seems really unnecessary. Because it's just a slight difference from like the sand color to the white color especially. It's just a very, very minor difference in the color. Although both kind of make sense, and then the other one also kind of makes sense. I mean, the artwork is fine. It's nice, it fits, nice custom pips, interesting jokers. But it just seems like it's too many decks. I like the artwork though. I like the top cases, and it's worth checking out. Which one will you choose? This one or the other one is the question. So far, the other one is getting more support, but it also probably launched before this one. And this one there's also some dice here. You see his Heroes of a Nation decks, which I never got, may eventually get. They actually have stretch goals though. The black deck is the first deck. Why would that be the first deck or the main deck? That is absolutely ridiculous. Out of all the decks, for an Egyptian theme, you would choose a black deck. Are you kidding me? Go with the sand one first, or the white one, not black. It just makes no sense. It really turns me off. The second deck has a $16,000 stretch goal. That's the sand God Ra deck, and the white Bastet has a $24,000 goal, which I'm not sure they're going to make, quite frankly, those stretch goals. I think it's a mistake to go with the black deck. I think it's a mistake to have a black deck, period, with an Egyptian theme. I mean, why would you not have a sand color or the white color, which really fits with something ancient or old? USB-C printing, but I'm turned off. Pike and Clover by Ian Cumpsey, very nice, 85% funded, 19 days to go. It's inspired by a classic tarot deck, and I really like the artwork. It's very nice. I recommend checking it out. Printed by Carter Munday, good quality. Bicycle Wild West by Justin Freud is 91% funded, 8 days to go. Let's get it there. It's almost funded. Very nice decks. I recommend checking it out. Then there's the Bicycle Elegance by D. Phillips. It's 30% funded, 12 days to go. That one I don't think is going to make it. Even with the additional deck, and I think it's kind of unnecessary. or desperate to add a second deck, try and get funded, and it's not working. Eyecatcher playing card box by Eyecatcher is 56% funded. 20 days to go, it's just a box, although I'm sure you can get the Eyecatcher playing cards in that project if you haven't done so already. I'm not a fan of the Eyecatcher playing cards because they've separated the index, so you get the pip in one corner and the number letter in the opposite corner, which makes it absolutely unusable for almost anything that you would use playing cards for. And next, we have a new one from Haglords, which I mentioned on Friday, I believe. It's the Rainbow Unicorn Special Edition playing cards. It's funded, well funded, 29 days to go. A few years ago, they came out with they had 2 years in a row, an April Fool's kind of a practical joke deck. This was basically one of them, and now they're redoing it with some changes, and it's now the Rainbow Unicorn Fun Time deck. And of course, it's well funded. It's colorful. It's a fanning deck, and it's got 14 unicorns on it. Don't worry, that wasn't me. As you can see, interesting, goofy, repetitive almost chord cards, essentially repeating chord cards. Very interesting, colorful backs for fanning purposes. However, at the same time, there's that fart. At the same time, it is almost a reprint of something they've done before, which isn't very creative or original, quite frankly. But it's fun. I like it. I'm down. Next up, Bicycle Verd from Magic Trick Store, collectible playing cards. 63% funded, 14 days to go. I mean, it's not a bad deck. Worth checking out if you haven't looked at it. I think it's pretty nice. But it's one that I would pick up later on, obviously. Then there is the Bicycle Runic Royalty Dark Edition from Keith Glover. 49% funded, 24 days to go. Struggling a bit, probably because there's about 100 other card projects on Kickstarter right now. That does not help. And also because I don't think the first one was necessarily overly popular. And I'm not sure a whole lot of people really need a color change. There are stretch goals for cardstock upgrades, a secret reward, numbered seals. But as you can see, it's the same thing as the previous Runic Royalty, except it's got black faces. Ace of Spades might be a little bit different. Might, being the imperative word, I'm not 100% sure. But from what I'm seeing, everything else is exactly the same, except it's black faces, or dark faces anyways, not 100% solid black. But the artwork looks the same, at least for the most part, in the back design. It's a recolored version of the previous back design. It's fine. If you missed out the previous ones, you might want to check this one. And I think that's my review on there. Yay. There you see the previous artwork and the back design. Check out my review on the original. Check out the project. It's not bad. I mean, I like it. But it is pretty much just a recolor. Grid Series 2 typographic poker cards from Luke Waddy. 49% funded, 15 days to go. May or may not get there. Who knows? There's a lot going on Kickstarter, like I said. Christopher. Playing cards by Christopher. Is funded, 7 days to go. I wasn't particularly a fan of that one. But, I mean, by all means, check out any of these projects on Kickstarter. Don't let me be a deterrent. My opinion is not necessarily the be-all, end-all. My opinion is biased, of course. You might absolutely love some of these decks that I despise or dislike. That Bolted Mystical Creatures by Oscar A. is 52% funded, 16 days to go. Again, I'm not sure it's going to happen, but they're interesting decks, that's for sure. Then we get to this 8-bit legacy playing cards from Home Run by Kobe Pyle. This is essentially a reprint more than anything else, and they're being printed by Freedom Playing Cards, which they've used on some of their other decks in the past. It is well funded, It had a very small goal, 51 hours to go. By all means, I mean, I do like the 8-bit playing cards, but I just think this project is highly unnecessary. And again, unimaginative, uncreative, because it's the same thing we've already seen before. Sisterhood of Blood, V2, Volume 2, by Kirk Slater, is 61% funded, 3 days to go. Not looking too good, and it's not exactly the type of deck that a lot of people are looking for at Christmas time. So that hurts his chances a little bit. And then there's the Friendly Felines by Will Royer, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned last week. It is well funded. Again, it had a very low goal. 14 hours to go. And why someone who is a magician in Vegas who has a lot of money is producing decks that have a limited appeal like this, I don't know. I have to question. Why not, put your money behind decks that collectors actually want? Official Sci-Fi Angels playing cards by John Daniel Taylor IV. That one is a thumbs down for me. It's funded though, 7 days to go. Somehow they have achieved $4,000. I have no idea why this deck would have $4,000 in funding when there are beautiful decks like the Sisterhood of Blood, which are struggling to fund. I really have to shake my head at that. Next, we got Fibs playing cards, to be printed by Carter Bunde by the Las Vegas Cardistry Company. It is 59% funded, 47 days to go. That's a long time for a project, by the way. And funding is not going to be over until next year. It's ridiculous. But it should fund at this rate. I'm trying to think. This is their first project. There's your back design. It's made for cardistry. It's borderless. Very symmetrical. And it's inspired by the perfection of the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. And I think I've seen a deck like similar to this, similar idea before. It's all about this Fibonacci sequence with a series of numbers. You get a series of numbers. Next number is found by adding up two numbers before it. So 0 plus 1 equals 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8. 8 plus 5 equals 13, etc., etc., etc. It's an infinite series of numbers, I guess, full of intriguing properties and applications, apparently. And it relates to microscopic cell division, formation of galaxies, branching of planets, arrangement of petals and seeds. Wow, okay. Formulating the shape of an egg, shape of a hurricane. It's associated with all of that whole ratio thing, which is pretty interesting. And I see how he's incorporated a lot of those details within the back design, which is pretty cool. Inherent geometric design. Also, very highly detailed custom pips, especially the ace of spades. Look at all that detail within there. Very interesting. Well, all the pips, all the aces, very nice custom details within them. However, that appears to be where the customizing begins and ends, because they're not showing us any other faces, so I have to suspect that they are completely standard. It's interesting though, that's for sure. Definitely worth checking out. Quality will be good. But I'm not going to rush because there's lots of time left in that project to get my hands on it. Day of the Dolls Pinup Playing Cards by Stephen Lewis is struggling. 71% funded, 4 days to go. It may or may not make it at this rate. I'm not sure it will. Then there's Pixel Bug Playing Cards by Mark V. 6% funded, 52 days to go. I think I looked at this one last week. Yeah, I did. I recall it was absolute garbage. And if a deck needs 52 days to fund, it needs 2 months to fund, if the creator goes, I'm going to need a lot of time to fund this deck, then it's probably not a good deck. And usually, if it's a 2-month project, it's not a good deck. Almost always, almost entirely. Every project I've seen that has a project that is that long, it's usually not good. If you look at your project and you say to yourself, it's going to take a while to fund, I might need 2 months to get the money for this, you probably shouldn't launch that project. Stained Glass Playing Cards, which is not Art of Cardistry related, by Dylan Prescott, is funded, well funded, 18 days to go, very low goal, NPC printing. There are some questions, of course, regarding this one. First, it's NPC printing. So instead of making it really limited and more valuable, he decides, let's print 2,500 decks. Why on earth would you do that? It's much better to make it more limited and more attractive to collectors. And, print a smaller quantity. And in that case, if you're going to print that many, why not just print with USB-C? And also, it's like 20 or 25 bucks for a deck. I don't think so. Moving on, Crystal Clover playing cards from TCC, funded, 20 days to go. It's an interesting deck. I will check it out later on, eventually. They also have Wooden Trainers. It's funded, 20 days to go. Don't ask me why. I mean, these trainer decks are all over the place. I don't know why you would need to go on Kickstarter to produce any, quite frankly. And we've seen them in metal and plastic and wood. Dan and Dave have them. Everyone seems to have them. World Secret Playing Cards by World Secret Cards is 19% funded, 7 days ago. It's not going to happen at this rate. It's just not very appealing. Next, we got Bad Girl Pinup Cards by Evolutionary Comics. There's 500 being produced. It is funded. 10 days to go, very low goal, short campaign from the looks of it. $125 goal, that's pretty low. Not sure who's producing it. They are Bad Girl Pinups. They're interesting, they're wow, sexy. And oh yeah, I can see the appeal. But then again, it's unnecessary. Why are they censoring nipples in some cases? They got X's taped on the nipples. Kind of weird. Got Everett Hartside. Batgirl Pinups. What is the back design? I don't know. Again, it seems overly... Oh, the back design is absolutely horrible. It's garbage. It's a comic book thing that says Bad Girl Pinups. Yay. Horrible back design. It's overly sexualized in my opinion. It's completely unnecessary. And it falls in line with that other one that I saw earlier, John Daniel, Taylor the Fourth, and his projects. It's not very exciting. There is a way to do sexy women and be artistic and kind of elegant and sensual about it. This is not it. See some of Giovanni Morani's decks. Anyways, Choice Cloverbacks by Ben Colosi and Penguin Magic, 80% funded, 11 days to go. Again, not sure why they really need Kickstarter, but here we are. Nice decks. I like them, recommend checking them out. They're available in red and brown, and they should fund, hopefully. We have another one from Home Run Games here by Jeff. It's the Copper Unicorn and Steel Hippo playing cards. It's 59% funded, 9 days to go. I don't think it's going to happen. Again, I don't know how many times they have to keep trying metal playing cards, how many times they have to fail. There's just not that much demand or interest, I guess. I mean, they did get over almost $9,000 at the moment, but it's not enough to hit their funding goal. And it's just the same old, same old. And why would you put a hippo on the back design of all things? anyway. It just seems weird. Physics playing cards by Mikhail Stolpovsky is 53% funded. 3 hours to go. It's not going to happen at this rate, unfortunately. Then we got multi-playing cards Black Edition by Cumber, 43% funded, 28 days to go. I'll probably make it like last time. I don't know why it's a Black Edition. The cards look the same to me. Is it just because it has a black tuck case? That's absolutely horrible, in my opinion. Or is it because it has a black back? Because the back design, there's nothing on it. It's just blank. And the faces have all these things on here for all sorts of games. Dice, chips, slot machine symbols, chess pieces, checker pieces, pips and numbers, all sorts of stuff. Dominoes. It's just too much. It's ridiculous. I saw this on the forum yesterday, and I posted a comment right away. It's like, there's limited appeal for this on this forum. So I don't know why they posted it there. Next we have Creatures relaunched by Rana Mahmood, and it's doing just about as good as the previous attempt, which is not good. It's 25% funded, 6 days to go. It seems to have a very limited appeal, especially when there's so many other projects on Kickstarter. And next we got the Imperial deck by Denigma, I guess it is. It's 57% funded, 24 days to go. We'll have a look at this. And I will say, on Instagram, I see so many cards that people are looking to produce and put on Kickstarter. And most of them just make me shake my head because they're just like decks for cardistry and stuff like that. And not very exciting. More of the same old, same old. This one looks pretty nice in the back design. Apparently they got lots of backers from throughout North America, Russia, Spain, Northern Europe, and some other parts of Europe, England, Australia, New Zealand, some parts of Asia, Japan, China, nobody from India, and a little bit in Africa apparently. No, sorry, South America. There's portions of South America. Is that Colombia? I can't tell. Apparently nobody in Africa. Nobody in the Middle East. Oh wait, that's not China, is it? China's down here. That's just all Russia, I guess. Or is it China? I can't even recall. I'm usually pretty good with geography. Nice, Ace of Spades. Nice artwork that I'm seeing. I don't know how I feel about, half of the pips or some of the pips being recolored. It's fine. It's not one of my favorite things. The court cards, I do like the aces, and I like the artwork. I do like the pips, actually. The court cards, I want to say I like them. I do like the artwork, and, I appreciate the art, the effort that went into them. However, why is it just a head? Where's the body? Like, let's go the whole way here. I want to see not just the head, but the whole body. It would have been a lot more appealing to me, personally, if they put just a little more effort into designing the artwork. Unless there's a specific reason why it's just head, but it's all about the Aztecs and the Mayans. It's very nice looking. Printed by USPC, Magic Finish. Unnecessary ad cards, I guess they're thank you cards. It's not bad. I like the artwork. I like the back design. I just wish that they had like a whole body to go with the heads. It would have been a little bit nicer. But it's definitely worth checking out. Recommend it. I will recommend it anyways. Next, we got Axel 1.0 point cards by Axel Chords. 4% funded, 55 days to go. This is going to be absolute crap. already. I'm not even liking it already, just based on the 55 days to fund, or more than that actually. They have a $12,000 goal. They're at $555, and it does not look good. Yeah. The back design is obviously made for cardistry. That is not a good fan. Why would you produce a card that you can't, as prototype deck that you can't even fan very well? Or at least they could have found someone that actually can fan. It would have been a little bit better. The artwork, it just looks very colored in by a kid. It looks like it came from a coloring book that's been hand colored. It's not great in my opinion. I mean, I do like having these pips in the opposite corners. The artwork is just, it's not good in my opinion. I appreciate what they're trying to do. I appreciate the effort. But it's not very original, having that kind of a diamond crystal look to it. And I don't understand how the name has anything to do with the deck, other than it's a self-named deck. I don't know. Personally, not my cup of tea. And the only major risk is with shipping, as this is our first mass print. Other than that, there are no apparent risks currently, but we'll update if we find any. There's always risks. Always. And that is one of them. Not knowing that there is risks, or not knowing what the risks could be, is a risk for backers. Quite frankly, also, it doesn't even tell me, there's another risk, it doesn't even tell me who is producing the cards. $8 on the early bird, and most of them are still available. $12 free shipping in USA for one deck. Wow, $15 for two decks on the early bird. The regular, it's $23 for two. It seems almost like a steal of a deal, especially if it's $12 for one deck. I don't understand the pricing. I don't know who's producing it. That is a question, obviously. What is this thing? Oh, they converted automatically to Canadian currency. Interesting. So I apologize if you're like, why is it in Canadian? It's not Canadian Creator. It's just been converted from a $10,000 goal to $12,000 Canadian. That means there's $437 pledged currently out of a $10,000 goal, which is horrible. This is why they need 55 days, because they're going to need it. I don't understand what this is. For $5, you can beta test their actual market, their marketplace. They have a marketplace for what? Is what I want to know. They don't have any information on that on the project that I saw. Anyways, the Constipated Cow. Are you kidding me? Let's move on here. Dracky Cat by Potet Cedric. 38% funded. 11 days to go. Not likely to happen at this rate. Barata Barata Tarot, Major Arcana by Sunnis Chava is funded, well funded. 12 days to go. It's a pretty low goal. It's just the Major Arcana cards, which I don't know how I'm going to use if the other deck doesn't fund. But hopefully it does. Or did. I don't even remember. Dragonback Poker cards. Gold limited run of 500 by Ben Green is funded. 16 days to go. Really low goal, obviously. Not a fan of those ones, particularly. A Kitty Cat Tarot deck. No, thank you. Another tarot deck Babylonian. Could be interesting. Let me just see if there's anything else here. I'm seeing the same things over and over and over again. It's annoying me. Just a little bit. Alright, that's it for Kickstarter. Woo! So some interesting stuff. A couple of new things obviously this week, like elephant playing cards, this ancient Egypt deck, and the Rainbow Unicorn, amongst others. Dark Runic Royalty, another new one, and a lot of other stuff that we've been seeing for weeks. So that is that. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'll see you next time with more. Stay tuned for the What's on Deck weekly update on what is new and upcoming in the world of playing cards.